I want to share a story with you. You might say it's a parable because it has a moral at the end of it. It has a lesson for us to learn. And it's a story about a mouse. There was a mouse that lived in a farmhouse. And one day the farmer came home and handed his wife a package. And she opened it right away, and to the mouse's horror, it was a mousetrap. And so the mousetrap ran outside to tell his barnyard friends of the great danger that there was. And the first one that he ran into was the hen. And he told the hen, "There's terrible, terrible news. The farmer has given his wife a mousetrap and we're all in great danger." And the hen said, "Well, I can understand why you're really afraid, but truth is, to me, not a problem." And so the mouse, still terrified, ran to look for another one of the barnyard friends, and he came to the sheep. And he said, "This is terrible thing has happened, and the farmer's wife has a mousetrap, and we're all in great danger that anything could happen. We have to be careful." And the sheep looked at him and said, "Well, I can understand why you're really afraid, and I'm going to pray for you, but it really doesn't pose any problem for me." And so the mouse, still frightened for his own life and the lives of his friends, ran to the cow. And he told the cow the same thing about the mousetrap and how scary it was and what great danger they were all in. And the cow said, "Not a problem. Not a problem for me, anyway," and walked away. And the mouse went back into the house, trembling with fear. And during the night, you could hear a loud snap. And the farmer's wife jumped out of bed to go and see if she had caught the mouse. And to her surprise, in the mousetrap was not the mouse, but it had caught the tail of a very poisonous snake. And the snake bit the woman. And needless to say, very soon the woman fell ill. She ran a very high temperature, and her husband didn't know what to do to help her. And so he decided it would be good to make a good nutritional soup for her. So he went to the kitchen and he got a big knife and he went outside to look for the old hen. And he made the soup for his wife. And after a couple of weeks, the woman didn't get any better and she finally died. And so a lot of neighbors and friends came to the funeral. And the farmer felt that he had to serve them something and thanking them for having come to his wife's funeral. And so he had the sheep butchered so that he could serve a delicious dinner to his friends. And then after a while, when the bills started coming in from the funeral home, he was really short on funds, and so he had to sell the cow to the local butcher shop to be able to pay. So you might be saying, what does this fable have to teach us? Well, if you think somebody else's problem is not yours, you'd better think again. What does that have to do with the reality that we're living today? Well, from the very beginning of this pandemic, the byline has always been, we're all in this together. And we really are. But it seems that some of us have forgotten that. And now there's protests that are going on because we're asked to wear masks when we go out, when we're around other people, and to maintain social distancing. I wear a mask when I go out, not for my sake, but for yours. And I would hope that you would have the same respect and care for me to do the same for me. We really are all in this together. And isn't it better together than each one trying to go their own way? And really, is it all that much to ask? You know, in the fable, the only one that kind of came out without any big problems or any big thing happening to them was the mouse. He wasn't even caught in the mousetrap. And now, one thing to think about is that each day begins with the dawn. And a lot of people think that the dawn is the best time of the day because it's like when God says to us, get up, I have a new day that I'm gifting you with, a new opportunity to do better and get it right.